Chapter 1541. Fang Yuan's Love. Chapter 1541. Fang Yuan's Love Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, invaders of Langya blessed land, die. Langya land spirit shouted as he attacked using heavenly giant solar along with the band of hairy Mangu immortals. Retreat. Seeing the approaching silver giant, central continent's Gu immortals rapidly retreated in all directions. Even Feng Jiugu was retreating, but he was moving slowly. It was not that he was slower than the rest, but he was purposely lagging behind. Undeniably, Feng Jiugu had the greatest battle strength among the central continent Gu immortals. He was the leader of this expedition. Victory greatly depended on him. He needed to control the situation at all times. This is Feng Jiugu of Central Continent's Spirit Affinity House. Langya Land Spirit controlled Heavenly Giant Solar. Seeing Feng Jiugu, his pupils shrank. He had a grim expression. The enemies had ill intent. Langya Land Spirit felt great pressure. Because Feng Jiugu appeared, it meant that Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects, and thus Heavenly Court, were the enemies of Langya blessed land. Heavenly Court was the #1 force in human history. It was also the #1 grotto heaven in the world. How could Langya Land Spirit not feel pressure? Facing such an opponent, Little 5. Langya Land Spirit shouted. Gu Immortal Fifth Hair nodded. Watch this. Saying so, he used an immortal killer move. The killer move took effect immediately. Appearing on Heavenly Giant Solar, the silver giant opened its mouth as a beam of light burst out. The beam was very threatening, appearing before Feng Jiugu in an instant. Such speed. Feng Jiugu was slightly stunned. The white light was right in front of his face, but he suddenly smiled. Swooshed, he vanished in an instant. The light went through his former location and shot far away, creating huge ripples of distortion in the air. Feng Jiugu appeared again. He advanced instead, arriving in front of the silver giant. He is above us. Within the silver giant, the investigative hairy man Gu Immortal called out. The hairy man Gu Immortals were flustered. Tit for tat, take my move as well. Feng Jiugu laughed heartily, waving his sleeves as a grand aura burst out of his body. Immortal killer move. Triple extreme sound. Feng Jiugu punched with one hand, creating a drumming sound. He struck with his other palm and created the chiming of bells. He pointed with his finger and created a sharp whistle. These were the signature methods of the 3 sounds' true inheritance: drum fist, bell palm, and whistle finger. Earlier, Feng Jiugu could only use the first 2 moves to supplement his methods. But after Fang Yuan escaped his pursuit, Feng Jiugu returned to Central Continent and thought about his own insufficiencies. He cultivated hard and learned the 3rd move. Thereafter, he learned all 3 methods, forming the triple extreme sound killer move: fist, palm, finger, fist, palm, finger. Using this fluid sequence, Feng Jiugu attacked and expended little immortal essence with each attack. The power even increased slightly with each use. Even though the amplification was not high, Feng Jiugu attacked rapidly, alternating between fist, palm, and finger. He attacked for 100 times in a short time. This way, as the number of attacks increased, triple extreme sound became even stronger. The sound waves landed on the silver giant as it stumbled backwards. The hairy man Gu Immortals felt dizzy. The silver giant waved its arms and scattered the clouds and winds, wanting to slam down on Feng Jiugu. But Feng Jiugu's methods were too tough. He moved agilely in the air. Even though the giant's arms were huge and moved fast, they could not hit Feng Jiugu. It seems that we need immortal methods. Against this person, Langya Land Spirit shouted with a serious expression. 3rd hair. 4th hair. The 2 hairy Mangu immortals responded rapidly and used their immortal killer moves. 3rd hair used a killer move that created a dark green layer of wooden armor on the silver giant's body. Feng Jiugu's triple extreme sound landed on the wooden armor, and the sound waves were completely absorbed. 4th hair's killer move created a golden chi spiral above the silver giant's head. These chi currents shot towards Feng Jiugu. Feng Jiugu's situation became dangerous all of a sudden. His attacks were no longer effective. No matter how he flew, the golden spiraling chi currents gathered around his body. He could not shrug them off. Not far away, Central Continent's Gu Immortal Fang Yuan saw this and thought, According to the information, defeating this silver giant will decide our victory. Since Feng Jiugu is in trouble, I can help him. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan was about to use a killer move when he heard his companion's warning. Brother Fang, dodge. What? At the next moment, Fang Yuan saw that the silver giant opened its mouth, shooting out a huge beam of light. This beam of light was aimed at Fang Yuan. He quickly used his defensive methods, but Heavenly Giant Solar had rank 8 battle strength. Even though Fang Yuan was a rank 7 expert, he was not like Feng Jiugu or Fang Yuan. His defensive methods only lasted for 3 breaths of time. But that was enough for Fang Yuan to turn into a white cloudy light and scatter before gathering and forming high up in the sky. Blood dripped out of Fang Yuan's mouth. He had a pale face and shock was in his eyes. I was distracted earlier and wanted to use a killer move. Exposing a flaw, they were able to sense it immediately. What investigative method is that? Langya Blessed Land had deep foundations, but it mainly focused on refinement path. The previous Langya Land spirit had no interest in anything but Gu refinement. Thus, this investigative method came from Shadow Sect. Fang Yuan exchanged true inheritances with Langya Land spirit back then. One on hand, he wanted the inheritances, and on the other hand, he wanted to increase Langya Sect's battle strength. Langya Sect had many immortal Gu. They only lacked useful killer moves. And now, Fang Yuan's action finally saw some results. Feng Jiuji's heart also sank. This investigative killer move could sense the weakness exposed by enemies. It was very useful in landing crucial attacks. With such a killer move, Central Continent's Gu Immortals were greatly disrupted when attacking the Silver Giant together. Because these people were from different sects, they rarely worked together once they attacked the Silver Giant. Their cooperation would have flaws, and these flaws would immediately be targeted by the Silver Giant. The more people here, the more problems there are. I will stall Heavenly Giant Solar myself then. Feng Jiugu fought as he thought that he quickly changed his battle tactic, instructing the other Gu Immortals, split up and set up the Immortal Gu formation so that our reinforcements can come. Such guts! Langya Land Spirit heard such words and shouted in anger. Feng Jiugu smiled lightly. He purposely said that it was an open scheme that left Langya Land Spirit no option but to face it. Even though the Silver Giant had rank 8 battle strength, it was only one entity, while Central Continent had 7 Gu Immortals. The Silver Giant could not deal with all of them, but if it sent out Hairy Man Gu Immortals to deal with them, they would fall into Feng Jiuji's scheme. The battle strength of these Hairy Man Gu Immortals had risen sharply, but they were not a match for these Central Continent Gu Immortal experts in one-on-one battles. Thus, Langya Land Spirit was in a difficult spot. He could neither split up his forces nor stay together. While Langya Blessed Land was in an intense battle, far away in southern border, in the Fetus Earth Maze, there was serenity. Where am I? Fang Yuan opened his eyes. Realizing he was on a bed, he wanted to get up, but found that he was heavily injured. He had a dazed expression as he muttered, "Who am I? I seem to have forgotten some important matters." "Oh son, you are finally awake." At this moment, an old lady heard the commotion and entered the house, tearing up after seeing Fang Yuan, who had woken up. "You are?" Fang Yuan questioned. The old lady was stunned for a second before crying loudly. "Son, did you hit your head and become stupid? I am your mother. You are Shun San. A few days ago, young Master Shu sent a Gu master of his family to beat you up because he did not want you and Xionyang to be together. Oh son, listen to mother's advice. Even though you and Xionyang are close, we are a small family. Even though there were Gu masters in our ancestry, we have already fallen from grace. You cannot beat young Master Shu in fighting over Xionyang. Give up. You should give up." "Xionyang," Fang Yuan muttered. "Is this true? I have forgotten all these?" Some days later, he gradually understood his identity that he and Xionyang were betrothed from birth, but his father died when he was young, losing their only Gu master in the family. Thus they fell from grace. Originally, they matched Xionyang's family, but now they were inferior. Xionyang's family preferred that young Master Shu instead. He had a huge clan and was influential and rich. There were dozens of Gu masters in Shu clan. If the external Gu masters were included, they numbered over 100. Later, Xionyang came to see Fang Yuan. Darling San, how are your injuries? I've been thinking of you day and night, but my parents stopped me from coming. I could only come here today because I lied that I was cultivating with a Gu master. Oh, my darling San, my poor darling San. Xiaonyang saw that Fang Yuan was lying down in bed weakly. She started sobbing. Love was deeply etched in her eyes. Fang Yuan looked at Xiaonyang. He felt like this was the first time he was seeing her. He assessed her closely. Xiaonyang was young and beautiful. Her skin was pure and white. Her green hair was long like a waterfall. She wore a white dress and had a slim figure. She was pure and innocent. With tears in her eyes, she was very alluring. She was truly a peerless beauty. No wonder that young Master Shu liked Xiaonyang. Fang Yuan sighed. He did not speak. Xiaonyang was upset, but the old lady sighed and told her the reason. Xiaonyang cried out in agony. She quickly held onto Fang Yuan's hands and talked about the past, attempting to get him to remember who she was. She talked of scenes of the past. They were ordinary and insignificant, but these were reflections of their love. Fang Yuan's love was slowly awakened. He looked at Xiaonyang's eyes as he extended his hand. Caressing her tender face, he said softly, "Xiaonyang, yes." Xiaonyang quickly answered as she grabbed his hand, placing it closely on her face. She looked at Fang Yuan's eyes with deep emotion, saying, "My darling San, oh my dear Shin San." Outside Fetus Earth Maze, in the immortal battlefield, Lu Weiyin smiled as he spoke to himself. I was right after all. How can anyone be so emotionless? This Fang Yuan is not an emotionless person. He still has love and affection in him. Lu Weiyin looked around. Since some time ago, be it the Gu immortals like Tai Mian Shun, or the mortals like Shang Xnci, they were all floating in the air with their eyes shut. Among them, Shang Xinci's eyes were shut, but her pupils were moving around. Her face was rosy, as if she was in a beautiful dream that she could not wake up from. Lu Weiyin sighed deeply. The mortal world reflects normal life. To reform this demon, you will all have to forget yourselves in this fetus earth maze and live as another person to experience life again. This is an opportunity. As long as you have sufficient comprehension, you will definitely gain something useful. Chapter 1542 merely amounted to this. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios within Langya Blessed Land, intense battle was occurring. The central continent Gu immortals received orders and scattered, setting up the immortal formation. As long as it was created, they would be able to bring central continent Gu immortals into Langya Blessed Land and reinforce Feng Jiu Gu and the rest for Langya Land Spirit. This was horrible news. They had to be stopped. This Feng Jiu Gu is truly devious. Our hairy man Gu immortals have to work together to assemble ancient battle formation, heavenly giant solar, and have rank 8 battle strength. He wants me to divert my forces. How can I do that? Langya Land Spirit snickered in his mind. If this was the previous Land Spirit, he would panic and experience complete chaos now. But this black-haired Land Spirit was adept at fighting. He saw through Feng Jiuji's schemes. I cannot split up my forces. In that case, I will kill some central continent Gu immortals first. We will compete in speed. Let's see who's faster, your immortal formation setup or my slaughtering of you Gu immortals. Langya Land Spirit's eyes shined with determination. Roar! The silver giant suddenly shouted as sound waves spread out in all directions, pushing Feng Jiu Gu away. Next, the silver giant raised its right foot. Taking a step forward, it moved very slowly, as if there was a mountain below its foot. Oh no! Feng Jiuji's expression changed, because he sensed the strong aura of space path from this silver giant. It was using a space path killer move. Feng Jiugu wanted to stop it as he activated triple extreme sound. But the silver giant was unobliging and took these attacks head-on. In order to complete the space path killer move, the silver giant finally stepped forward. When the right foot landed on the ground, space below it shrunk by countless times. It moved over 100 li instantly. A central continent Gu immortal was flying on a cloud. Suddenly, the air around him was pushed away as he was completely shrouded by a huge shadow. He turned to look. His pupils shrunk to pin size as the silver giant stood before him. Its arms were grabbing towards him from his left and right. The central continent Gu immortal became alert. He gritted his teeth, and tried to use a method to escape. But a profound light emerged from each of the silver giant's hands. The two profound lights landed on the central continent Gu Immortal as his killer move activation was broken. Quickly save me. The central continent Gu Immortal was locked on by the two lights and could not move. He screamed and sought help from his companions the next moment. He was completely surrounded by the two hands. The silver giant grabbed as the two hands formed into a silver cage, and immeasurable pressure assaulted the central continent Gu Immortal from all directions. His bones were creaking. The central continent Gu Immortal's expression changed. He could see his defensive methods crumbling. He could not resist the might of the silver cage. Save me. He could not keep calm anymore. He screamed, "G-U-H-A-T" the next moment. He turned into a pile of bloody flesh. He was completely squashed to death inside the silver cage. This central continent rank 7 expert from the 10 great ancient sects had died pitifully in the silver giant's hands. Good. Gu immortals from central continent's 10 great sects are merely so. Within the silver giant, Lang Yalan's spirit laughed heartily. We will continue. That Feng Jiuge had rank 8 battle strength. He is a tough nut to crack. We will ignore him. Let's kill all these weaklings first. I want to see if anyone will still dare to invade my hairy man's sanctuary after this. Heavenly Giant Solar was the number 2 ancient battle formation in the world. It was the peak essence of ancient Gu cultivation. It had rank 8 battle strength, but the hairy man Gu immortals were too weak earlier, including the white-haired land spirit. Thus, when Shadow Sect attacked, they did poorly. Shadow Sect managed to damage Refinement Cauldron and leave unharmed. But now was different. After the black-haired land spirit's reforms, Langya Sect was created, and with Fang Yuan's guidance, the hairy man Gu immortals' fighting standards had gone up greatly. This way, after assembling ancient battle formation Heavenly Giant Solar, it could truly display rank 8 battle strength. And because the black-haired land spirit had always made the hairy man Gu immortals practice the use of this ancient battle formation, even Central Continent rank 7 Gu immortal experts had to die. Southern Border, Fetus Earth Maze. The mortal life continued to unfold. It seems that I really lost my memories. Under the moonlight, Fang Yuan sighed. He wore a thin shirt as he walked around the small garden made with piled-up soil. There was a well in it, and half of the bricks around the well had broken. There was also a fruit tree with no leaves. It was dry and wilted. This is my home. Fang Yuan looked around and sighed. He looked at the room that the old lady slept in. It was even more torn than his room. The windows had lots of holes in it. Seeing this, a sense of shame and embarrassment assaulted Fang Yuan. Thinking of Xiaonyang, love emerged from Fang Yuan's heart. Undoubtedly, these two were the most important women in his life. After resting for some months, his injuries had mostly healed. He could walk again. At the moment, countless thoughts were in his mind. The pure moonlight shone down on his frowned brows. He had been thinking about his situation while lying on bed. Xiaonyang is truly in love with me. I must marry her. I cannot let her down. Mother really likes Xiaonyang, but because of the situation, she had to painfully give up. To marry Xiaonyang, there are 2 obstacles. One is Shu clan. It has a huge force and many people. The second are Xiaonyang's parents. They are Gu masters, and they look down on a mortal like me. The root cause is still my low aptitude. I cannot become a Gu master. If I could cultivate to rank 3, her parents would accept me. Sigh. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan sighed deeply. This was a problem that he could not solve. Even though in rumors there were Gu that could change aptitude, Fang Yuan was a poor lad who would spend effort to help him to such an extent. Even though Xiaonyang had Gu master aptitude, she was only C grade and had low potential. If she had a bright future and could become a rank 3 Gu master, she might be able to decide her own fate. She would not need to be so helpless. Then what should I do? Fang Yuan sighed as he looked at the moon. He was very troubled, but at this time, he heard the sound of a zither playing. Oh? Why is there music? Fang Yuan listened closely. The music was not just from a zither. There were also bells, flutes, and so on. He listened closely, trying to find the source of the music, gradually approaching the well. Strange, this music is coming from my well. Why is that? Fang Yuan looked into the well. He only saw the reflection of the moon. It was bright and clear. Fang Yuan looked at the walls of this well. There were dozens of bricks that formed into the shape of a door. It was shining with a white jade luster. It was extraordinary. He was very curious. He tied the rope of the water bucket to the fruit tree and climbed down the well. When he was lowered to half of the well's depth, he hung onto the rope as he pushed the bricks that looked like a jade door. He used a small force, but the jade door vanished when he touched it. A form of suction dragged the helpless Fang Yuan into it. A night later, Fang Yuan got out of bed, his eyes shining brightly. He was completely different from before mentally. It turned out that this well had the inheritance of a Gu immortal. It was known as the virtue true inheritance. Because of its long history, it was very incomplete. Fang Yuan inherited this incomplete true inheritance. He awakened his aperture that night and became a rank 1 Gu master. He obtained several mortal Gu and gained a huge burst in strength. His life had completely changed. Heaven pitied me. I obtained such an unparalleled fortuitous encounter. There is great hope in marrying Xiaonyang now. Fang Yuan was extremely joyous, but he controlled himself, knowing that he could not expose this. The fortuitous encounter was too great. If he exposed it, he would get killed. I want to cultivate hard. I will accumulate my foundation and only expose my strength after being sufficiently strong enough. Cultivate this virtue true inheritance. Fang Yuan made up his mind, but he frowned. But this true inheritance has a weird requirement. It needs the inheritor to maintain a heart of justice, to be a virtuous person. The greater my virtues, the easier it is when cultivating. Virtue. Fang Yuan hesitated. He had a vague feeling of disdain towards this word in his heart. But after getting this true inheritance, the disdain vanished subtly. In the following days, Fang Yuan worked hard on cultivation, accumulating strength. The old lady advised him not to get close to Xiaonyang. He agreed, but made up his mind internally. Xiaonyang approached him and talked about their tough relationship, but Fang Yuan urged her to endure it. He would find a way around this. What made Fang Yuan extremely glad was that Xiaonyang believed his words without doubt. As he cultivated, one day, the old lady got sick and could not recover. Fang Yuan was extremely anguished. Normal medicine had no effect. Fang Yuan's heart was burning with anxiety. He found a Gu master to heal her, but the rank 2 Gu master looked down on his pitiful fees and did not want to help. Fang Yuan heard that this Gu master liked to eat fish. He walked for a dozen li to arrive at a lake. Fang Yuan started a fire and melted the ice, entering the cold water to capture a fish before giving it to the Gu master. The Gu master was extremely moved by Fang Yuan's filial piety. He decided to heal this old lady. The old lady was healed, and Fang Yuan was extremely happy. His joy only increased when he found that there was a rank 2 accumulate virtue Gu in his aperture. According to the true inheritance, this accumulate virtue Gu would refine and appear on its own when Fang Yuan did good deeds and acted kindly. The greater the accumulation of kindness, the higher the rank of the accumulate virtue Gu that is refined. This Gu had many uses. It was one of the core foundations of virtue true inheritance. Its greatest use was to change Fang Yuan's cultivation aptitude, to turn him into the righteous virtue physique 1. According to the vague description of the true inheritance, the righteous virtue physique was only inferior to the 10 extreme physiques, but it did not have any of the 10 extreme physiques' flaws. It represented an unparalleled future and potential. Henceforth, Fang Yuan did good deeds and accumulated his virtues. He did not give up any opportunity to refine accumulate virtue Gu. Soon, his kind reputation of committing good deeds spread. Fang Yuan's aptitude became better and better. His cultivation speed rapidly rose. 2 years later, he became a rank 2 Gu master. During an incident, in order to save a child who had fallen into water, he exposed his Gu master identity. Coincidentally, an elder from Shu clan saw this. Fang Yuan's secret was exposed. The Shu clan elder thought, a mere mortal like Fang Yuan could actually improve his aptitude to become rank 2. He definitely had a huge secret. Thus, he attacked Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan fought with him in an intense battle. Eventually, he surpassed his limit and used a mortal killer move, virtuous submission. This move used up all of his accumulate virtue Gu. Shu clan elder was hit by this move, but he suffered no injuries. He started to cry as he knelt on the ground, slapping his own face as he cried. I am not human. I am not human. I actually had such evil thoughts. I dare to attack someone as virtuous as you. I am a beast. I am not human. Please forgive me. Please give me a chance to redeem myself." Fang Yuan was dazed on the spot. He did not think this move would be so powerful. Henceforth, he subdued this Shu clan elder and gained a lot of crucial information about the Shu clan young master. Meanwhile, he worked hard to do good deeds as his reputation spread among the mortals. Even Gu masters heard of his name. Several years later, the truth could no longer be concealed. Fang Yuan's Gu master identity was exposed. But he used other Gu worms to conceal his greatest secret. Xiaonyang's parents changed their opinion of him, but they did not want their daughter to marry someone as poor as Fang Yuan. Compared to Fang Yuan, the Shu clan young master was simply much superior, but Xiaonyang loved Fang Yuan alone. This made the Shu clan young master upset as he found trouble with Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's life was filled with hurdles. He was constantly framed and accused, but as long as Xiaonyang was around, he looked forward to each day with hope. Eventually, when their conflict reached its max, Shu clan young master requested for Fang Yuan to fight him in a battle to the death. Fang Yuan agreed to his request. This matter escalated, and the surrounding forces and Gu masters heard about it. Right before the day of the fight, late at night, Fang Yuan was attacked by the joint assault of Shu clan's Gu masters. Fang Yuan escaped to the mountains with heavy injuries. He was filled with rage and hatred. Because he knew that he was heavily injured, he could not be Shu clan young master's match. If he won a fight, he would die. But if he did not, he would lose the match and Xiaonyang would have no choice but to marry Shu clan's young master. How can I allow Xiaonyang to marry this scoundrel? Even if I die, I will. What sound is that? Fang Yuan was shocked. He turned around to see a huge beast tide approaching. Good. Heaven is not blind. Let this beast tide destroy the city. Shu clan would not be prepared for it. They would lose terribly. I would be avenged. Fang Yuan was overjoyed, but his smile faded instantly. He thought of his mother. He thought of Xiaonyang. He thought of his friends and neighbors. The cherished faces of these people surfaced in his mind and lingered. If he allowed the beast tide to reach the city, how many people would die? Even if he tried to save them, with his strength, how many people could he save? Even if I save Xiaonyang and my mother, what about these people? Don't they have children? They have their own parents too. Not helping them when I know of this disaster. I am also an accomplice. Also, no matter how bad the Shu clan young master is, not everyone in Shu clan is like him. There are also admirable people among them. Why must I implicate them? Do they deserve to die? Furthermore, I have already lived in this city for 20 years. I am indebted to it. Without its protection, I would have been killed by wild beasts. Should I let the beast tide destroy this city? No, this is my home. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's gaze firmed as he turned around, running to the city. Even though he knew that in returning now, he would likely meet those Shu clan Gu masters and get killed by them. But he had to go, because having inherited virtue true inheritance, these last few years, virtues were ingrained in him. His own mindset was changed. He felt that he had the obligation and responsibility to do this. Fang Yuan returned to the city and informed everyone of the beast tide. It grew a lot of attention. The beast tide was too sudden and concealed, but thanks to Fang Yuan, the Gu masters in the city were prepared for it and managed to defend themselves. The city lord heard of Fang Yuan's circumstances, knowing that he had taken a huge risk to inform them. He praised Fang Yuan greatly. With the city lord's backing, Fang Yuan no longer feared Shu clan. His battle with the Shu clan young master was also postponed indefinitely. Next, in the year-long defensive battle, Fang Yuan performed well and saved countless mortals and Gu masters. He loved to help people and did not seek rewards. His strength grew drastically as he refined countless accumulate virtue Gu. People also praised him greatly, and his reputation soared. When the beast tide ended, Fang Yuan had undergone a qualitative transformation. He fought with Shu clan's young master fair and square, and in this life and death battle, Fang Yuan obtained absolute victory. But he spared the life of Shu clan's young master. O Shin-san, you repaid hatred with kindness. I am in deep admiration. From today onwards, I will follow your lead. Please accept my submission. Saying so, Shu clan's young master knelt down. The people in the city were in deep admiration towards Fang Yuan. 3 years later, the city lord felt old and passed his position to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was already a rank 5 Gu master. He was the new city lord. The day that he took over the role was also the day of his marriage with Xiaonyang. Auspicious red characters, lively guests, delicious food and wine, and a comfortable wedding room. Xiaonyang was dressed up and sat by the bed, looking at Fang Yuan with deep love. "Darling San, we are finally married. I knew I did not love the wrong person." Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Of course, but he held his chest. Xiaonyang was worried. "But what? Are you feeling unwell?" Fang Yuan shook his head. "I feel a little empty inside." Xiaonyang smiled. She smiled like a blooming flower, looking truly beautiful. "Why do you feel empty? Darling San, do you know how many people admire you?" Fang Yuan's expression turned stiff. "They admire me? They merely admire my fortune, authority, strength, and love life." Saying this, his tone turned cold. A sharp light flashed in his eyes. Xiaonyang's expression changed. "Darling San, what's wrong? Your words are making me uneasy." Fang Yuan looked at her seriously. He looked at this face that he thought about day and night. He could not stop loving this beautiful woman. His gaze was so serious, but Xiaonyang felt more and more uneasy. Afterwards, Xiaonyang saw Fang Yuan shaking his head as he sighed. Everything that happened merely amounted to this. At the next moment, everything collapsed. Author's note. This is 2 chapters combined together. TL note. This is how you write an RI fanfic. Chapter 1543, Humanity's Righteous Path. Chapter 1543, Humanity's Righteous Path. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios Northern Plains, Langya Blessed Land. "You want to kill me? You will have to pay a price." A rank 7 Central Continent Gu immortal shouted. He knew he could not escape. Facing the silver giant, he retaliated with a final struggle. The immortal killer move was grand and powerful. The silver giant took several steps back. But that was it. Snap. The silver giant slapped with both palms as he turned into meat paste. "Ha! The 3rd Central Continent Gu immortal is dead." Langya Land's spirit laughed heartily. The silver giant turned around, looking at Feng Jiu as it taunted. "Oh Feng Jiu, even if you have rank 8 battle strength, so what? Can you stop me from killing your companions? They dared to invade Langya Blessed Land. I will turn this into their final resting place." Feng Jiu's gaze was spewing fire. He was furious. Within Langya Blessed Land, Langya Land's spirit had the territorial advantage. Heavenly Giant Solar had true rank 8 battle strength. Even if he used his signature killer moves, he could not stop the silver giant from killing other Central Continent Gu immortals. In that case, I can only do this now. Feng Jiu's gaze became eerie and profound. Langya Land's spirit had a bad feeling in his heart. "What are you trying to do?" Feng Jiu smiled. "Nothing special. I am just imitating you." He flew down and rapidly went below Cloud Cover Continent, arriving at one of the 3 continents, Black Hair Continent. Below Feng Jiu, a hairy man city with countless hairy men living in it had no idea that disaster was about to strike. "Stop." Langya Land's spirit moved the silver giant and quickly approached Feng Jiu. But Feng Jiu used his immortal killer move forcefully, with a loud sound. This hairy man's city instantly destroyed. Countless hairy men were buried. Tens of thousands of hairy men died instantly. Langya Land's spirit's eyes turned red, screaming, "Feng Jiu, you are a righteous path Gu immortal. How can you act so viciously?" Feng Jiu smiled coldly. "My righteous path is the righteous path of humans, not variant humans. Since when did you variant humans consider yourselves equal to us humans?" Feng Jiu said this as he flew to another city. Langya Land's spirit tried to stop him, but like how Feng Jiu could not stop him from killing Central Continent Gu immortals, he could not stop Feng Jiu from killing these hairy men. Feng Jiu did not care much about the lives of the Central Continent Gu immortals. They came from different sects, and the 10 great ancient sects were in constant conflict as well. But Langya Land's spirit cared about his hairy men. He had a grand ambition for the hairy men. It was his weakness. Feng Jiu's attacks were all met with Langya Land's spirit's resistance. The other Central Continent Gu immortals became safe as a result. The situation turned bad for Langya's sect. Southern border, inside the battlefield killer move. Strange, very strange. Lu Weiyin had a look of shock and uncertainty. My killer move mimics reincarnation battlefield. It uses fetus Earth maze as the base to create a dream realm. There are many participants in this dream realm. They are all elites. The dream is so powerful I can only influence and not control it. This Fang Yuan had love and kinship in his heart. He also has desire towards fortune, authority, and strength. But why did the dream realm fail to restrain him in the end? This dream realm's virtue true inheritance was not fictional. It was a crucial setup by Lu Weiyin. His main objective was to direct Fang Yuan to commit good deeds and muster the virtues and righteousness in his heart, turning him from a demonic to righteous path, Gu immortal. The entire process was very successful from its start to the middle. But right when Lu Weiyin thought that he was going to succeed, Fang Yuan suddenly broke free of the dream's route. This situation confused Lu Weiyin greatly that he thought about it, but could not understand why. Forget it. Even though one lifetime is over, there are 2 lives left. I will reform you once more. Lu Weiyin breathed in deeply, his expression turning austere. During the second life's dream realm, Fang Yuan became a young master. His clan was a super force and dominated a territory. His grandpa was the first supreme elder and his parents were both Gu immortals. They had supreme authority as the only child of his family. Fang Yuan was doted on from birth. He enjoyed great fortune and luxury since he was young. When he was a teenager, he unavoidably became a good-for-nothing young master. Even though he was very lazy and did not cultivate, with his family's support, they expended a huge amount of resources to raise his cultivation level. Thus, when Fang Yuan was 16 years old, even though all he did was play and fool around, he had rank 5 peak stage cultivation level. Fang Yuan forgot himself. He forgot the previous dream's life. He lived happily and without worries. Just when he thought that his life could carry on like this forever, his family was attacked by a demonic overlord. This unparalleled demon had quasi-rank 9 battle strength. He had immense might and a vicious heart. Fang Yuan's clan was not his match. The clan expended a huge amount of resources. They hired a lot of help and joined up with many righteous path forces to attack the demon. In this battle, his grandpa and father died. The demon eventually lost and went missing. News that he died spread. However, Fang Yuan's life took a drastically downturn. His mother could not hold the fort. Soon both of them were ostracized by other forces in the clan. But survival was not an issue. He had his mother to protect him. However, a few years later, the demon appeared again. The first thing he did was to approach Fang Yuan's clan and murder all of the clansmen in it. The scene was very pitiful. Their blessed land base that was safe from harm became ruins. Corpses were everywhere. Fang Yuan was lucky to be the sole surviving Gu master. Demon, I will kill you. He was resolved to die. He attacked that demon without hesitation, but the demon snickered and easily blew Fang Yuan to the ground with one breath. He stepped on Fang Yuan's head as he laughed. Little rascal, do you hate me? I can feel how much hatred you have, because your encounter today was the same as me back then. I was only a mortal living with my family back then. Even though life was hard, we lived in bliss. But a Gu master from your clan killed my entire family over a tiny Gu worm. I managed to survive and swore to take revenge. Thankfully, heaven was not blind. I had a fortuitous encounter and became a Gu immortal. I could finally take revenge today. Ha ha. Fang Yuan struggled intensely, but the demon laughed happily. Eventually, he stepped on Fang Yuan's skull and burst it. 3 days later, in a secluded cave, Fang Yuan opened his eyes. Didn't I die? When he found that he was alive, he was extremely shocked. But soon, a scene of the past surfaced in his mind. His mother had used an immortal killer move on him with utmost secrecy. Nobody knew about it. Son, this killer move can protect your soul and let you revive once. In the future, if this move activates, I want you to live well. Do not take revenge for us. His mother instructed warmly. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan was filled with tears. He understood that he had revived because of his mother. That he revived, but his mother did not. She had used her only chance of revival on Fang Yuan. This was the noble love of a mother. Fang Yuan sobbed in anguish. The hatred in his heart accumulated like the tidal waves raging in a vast sea. The amount of love he had for his clansmen and family was equal to how much he hated that demon. After crying for a while, Fang Yuan knelt on the ground. He swore to spend his life, regardless of what price he had to pay, to kill that demon and take revenge for his parents, clansmen, and for himself. Fang Yuan started to cultivate with great effort from this day on. He worked very hard. He only slept the minimum amount each day. He even ate food with a very strict timer. After reviving, even though his body had changed, his aptitude was still unparalleled. He could conceal his identity. He had his clan's inheritance and the full foundation of a super force, even though there were no immortal goo left. At this place where he revived, his mother had left him a lot of mortal goo. Just like this, he cultivated in the cave in seclusion. 8 years later, he successfully became a rank 6 goo immortal, obtaining a high-grade blessed land. But rank 6 was not enough against the demon. Fang Yuan's desire for revenge only grew firmer as time passed. He had already expended the cultivation resources that his mother left. Fang Yuan ventured out of the cave and roamed the world. This time, almost the entire world had submitted to that demon's authority. In the absence of rank 9, he was the #1 person in the world. Fang Yuan cultivated as he actively joined the forces that resisted the demon. But the demon was too powerful. No matter how many forces resisted, they vanished from his immense might. Gradually, the situation became worse. Many goo immortals submitted to the demon and became his lackeys. Fang Yuan's strength grew, but even at rank 7, he was not the demon's match. He still had to face the assault of those lackeys. His cultivation journey was getting tougher. He got injured so many times he could not remember anymore. In many situations, he relied on luck and managed to survive. He had gone through so much hardship and pain. All the suffering was buried in his heart. Hatred grew deeper in his heart. He became experienced. He started to talk less. I have little lifespan left. Fang Yuan looked at his old face in the water's reflection as he said anxiously, "Please sell your lifespan goo to me. I will pay you 3 rank 7 immortal goo." He found a goo immortal. This person has saved his life. He was also an enemy of the demon. But this goo immortal shook his head. "Lifespan goo is hard to get. I have little lifespan too. No matter how many immortal goo you offer, how can I use them if I am dead? Please go back." Chapter 1544. Boring. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, I really need them. I have a reason to live. Fang Yuan shouted. He persevered. In this world, everyone has their own reason to live. Why must I die in order for you to live? This goo immortal smiled. Of course, I understand your reason. That demon is your mortal enemy, and you want to take revenge. But he is also my enemy. I need to take revenge too. Why must I be sacrificed for you? Go find other lifespan goo. I need these for myself. Fang Yuan could not rebuke him. This goo immortal made great sense. His begging ended in failure. Fang Yuan had to go out and find lifespan goo. In fact, during his cultivation journey, he had been paying attention to getting lifespan goo. But his luck was bad. The demons scavenged for lifespan goo, and the number of lifespan goo in the outside world became very few. Fang Yuan had no alternatives. He knelt in front of his parents' grave for an entire night. He first wailed, before he sobbed, and by daybreak, he stood up with a dangerous gaze in his eyes in order to get lifespan goo. He took a risk and killed his benefactor, taking the lifespan goo that he had. Using the lifespan goo, he lengthened his life and continued to cultivate. Finding a chance for revenge, he started to lose his bottom line. He became unscrupulous. Thus, he started to be branded as a dangerous person. He became part of the demonic path. Even if I become a demon, so what? I will do anything for revenge. The demon exterminated all the forces that opposed him. He had supreme authority. Nobody could remove his status. Fang Yuan could not find any chance to kill the demon. He started to lose his patience. His hatred was like a monster in the darkness of his heart. If this monster's thirst for revenge could not be fulfilled, this monster would devour Fang Yuan himself. Thus, Fang Yuan shifted his attention to the people around the demon. The demon was human too, even though his family was murdered in the past. In recent years, he started a family. He had wives, subordinates, and many children. Among his children, a young girl was doted on the most. She was turned into a goo immortal at the age of 16 by the demon after paying a shocking price. Fang Yuan started a deep scheme. He intentionally created a coincidence to get close to this female immortal. You can call me Little Shang. Thank you for saving me. The female immortal was very innocent. Because Fang Yuan had saved her life, he soon gained her trust. Fang Yuan started to act. After such a long time, his acting had improved drastically. He was very familiar with the human heart. Initially, he got close to Little Shang to kill her and make the demon feel the pain of losing his family. But gradually, as he spent time with Little Shang, Fang Yuan's emotions started to awaken from the deep darkness of his heart. But when Little Shang confessed to him about her affection, Fang Yuan was panicked and quickly ran away. He vanished from Little Shang. He hid his traces and went back to his parents' graves, kneeling with a face overflowing with tears, because he had understood his own feelings from this shock. Unknowingly, he had fallen in love with Little Shang. How could he fall in love with the daughter of the enemy that killed his entire family? Fang Yuan was extremely anguished, while feeling deeply conflicted. Eventually, he let Little Shang off. He only went after the demon for revenge that he changed his appearance and did some robberies. After collecting enough cultivation resources, he cultivated by the grave and pushed to rank 8. He succeeded in reaching rank 8, but suffered heavy injuries too. When he was recuperating, Little Shang appeared. She had found him. She questioned him on why he ran away when she confessed. This was the first time she was confessing, but he acted like this. She was indignant. She needed to get an answer. Fang Yuan could not explain himself. He brought her to his parents' graves as he said, "This is the grave of my former lover." Little Shang's expression paled. She apologized to Fang Yuan, asking, "Why are there no words on this grave?" Of course there were no words. Fang Yuan was not going to leave this flaw that could expose his identity behind. Thus, he sighed, "Because I did not know her name from start to end." Next, he spoke of a pitiful but beautiful love story. Little Shang was crying profusely. She was deeply immersed in this story. She felt sympathy and sadness towards Fang Yuan. She decided to accompany Fang Yuan and live together to get out of this trauma. She was very firm on her reason. What's wrong with helping the person I love? Even though Fang Yuan loved Little Shang too, he did not want to stay with her. He was afraid that after his revenge succeeds, it would cause even greater harm to Little Shang. He was also afraid that if he stayed with her, his determination for revenge would be eroded. The night that Little Shang stayed with him, Fang Yuan saw the demon again, his eternal enemy. The demon used a method to make Little Shang fall asleep as he brought Fang Yuan over by force. Fang Yuan concealed himself. Deeply, the demon did not find out his true identity. The demon spoke with a forceful tone, but what surprised Fang Yuan was that he did not separate the two of them. From the demon's words, Fang Yuan could acutely sense the fatherly love that he had. He wanted them to live in happiness. "You have rank 8 cultivation level. You are somewhat worthy of my daughter. Treat Little Shang well. She really loves you," the demon said before leaving. Fang Yuan thought about it. Continuing to ponder over the situation, he felt that the demon's actions had deeper reasons. Indeed, after some subtle probing, Little Shang exposed a shocking secret. The demon wanted to charge to rank 9 realm, but he had little confidence in it. Fang Yuan was overjoyed when he heard this. He understood the demon more than he understood himself. The demon was definitely going to try advancing to rank 9, but he had little confidence. Once he failed, if he did not die, he would be heavily injured. By then, Fang Yuan would be able to exact revenge. At once, the thirst for revenge overwhelmed him. The unprecedented hope made Fang Yuan extremely logical and calm. He decided to stay close to Little Shang to get closer to the demon. The demon failed in his advancement to rank 9 indeed. He hid in a valley to recuperate. Before Fang Yuan found out his location, the information was exposed by his most trusted aide. The demon had always ruled with an iron fist. He was very strict with his subordinates. It was understandable why his subordinates betrayed him. Most Gu immortals had not truly submitted to the demon. When they heard news of this, the 5 regions stirred and a large number of Gu immortals ganged up and surrounded the valley. The demon was in danger. Little Shang was worried about her father. She wanted to help him. Fang Yuan went with her during this trip. Little Shang was deeply moved. Fang Yuan managed to get close to the demon, and as battle started, the demon managed to kill many Gu immortals even though it was evident that he was weakened. The Gu immortals saw hope and refused to leave even in death. Fang Yuan schemed and plotted against the demon, exposing precious information and making him land in a dangerous situation to end the final battle. Both sides exhausted their resources. Due to luck, Fang Yuan obtained control of the immortal formation that would decide victory. There was only one attack left in the immortal formation. It could decide the battle. The Gu immortals shouted at Fang Yuan, "Quickly kill this demon, uphold justice, and save this world." Little Shang was in a desperate situation. Fang Yuan was her only hope. The demon said to Fang Yuan, "Quickly kill these Gu immortals. I will let you become the second strongest person in this world. You will have an unlimited amount of riches and prosperity. My daughter will be yours for a lifetime." Fang Yuan hesitated and struggled. The images of his parents appeared in his mind. They screamed, "Kill him! Kill this demon! Take revenge for our clan!" Countless eyes were staring at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan controlled the immortal formation. Whichever side he hit would be exterminated. The other would win if he attacked the righteous path Gu immortals. The demon would win. Fang Yuan did not want this. But if he did not, Little Shang would die, or maybe he should save Little Shang now. There would be another chance to kill the demon in the future. After this matter, Fang Yuan would gain the demon's trust, but that was not assured, and Fang Yuan did not have the confidence to kill the demon alone. The demon was too powerful. As long as he had time to recover, he would become more vigilant and stronger. Fang Yuan's hope of revenge would dwindle if he attacked the demon. That was the safest option. He would definitely die. Fang Yuan would be able to take revenge. It was the most correct answer, but that would cause Little Shang to die. Fang Yuan was unwilling to see that happen. Fang Yuan's gaze flickered. He felt love and hatred conflicting in him. He was in immense pain and contradiction. Due to the time limit, he had to make up his mind now. Whichever decision he made, it would decide the fate of the world, and furthermore, it would enormously affect the rest of his life. This final hit, would he attack or not? If he attacked, where would he hit? All of the Gu immortals stared at Fang Yuan. Many were cheering and urging Fang Yuan to make the most important decision. Under everyone's watch, the hesitation and struggle on Fang Yuan's face suddenly vanished. His lips curled up as he showed a mocking smile. Next, he started to laugh lightly. He sighed deeply as his body relaxed entirely. "Why are you laughing? Make up your mind," the demon shouted, rushing him. "I am laughing at myself. I am also laughing at all of you." Fang Yuan looked at them with a calm gaze. It swept around as his eyes drooped down. "Love and friendship, killing and slaughtering. Don't you all find this very boring?" At the next moment, the dream realm collapsed once again. Chapter 1545. Fang Yuan schemes ahead. Feng Jiu faces danger. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios boom. With a loud explosion, another city in Black Hair Continent collapsed. Countless hairy men died or got injured. Feng Jiu, you deserve death. Lang Yalan's spirit screamed manically. Intense pain could be heard from his voice. Feng Jiu smiled coldly, flying away again. The silver giant continued to pursue him under the land spirit's control. Profound lights were scattered before it left. The hairy men that were still alive in the city quickly healed after being bathed in this light. Their lives were saved. But this was pointless for the overall fight. Both the silver giant and Feng Jiu had rank 8 battle strength. Neither could stop the other party's assaults, unless their battle strength differed greatly. Fang Yuan has not responded yet. Lang Yalan's spirit's eyes were red. He shouted. The hairy man Gu immortals in charge of contacting him shook their heads. Damn it. Lang Yalan's spirit gritted his teeth, clenching his fists as he growled. Uncontactable at the crucial moment. Is he trying to escape? No, he is not a person who lacks courage. As long as we join forces, these central continent Gu immortals will die here. This means he is being targeted by Heavenly Court now. Even though Lang Yalan's spirit was furious, he still had a clear head. First Supreme Elder, what do? We cannot chase after Feng Jiu like this. Sixth Hair asked. The hairy man Gu immortals were not Lang Yalan's spirit. Even though they were born and lived here, after becoming immortal, their mindsets had changed. mortals and immortals had different statuses. Even if all these mortal hairy men died, more could be nurtured as time passed. But if these central continent Gu immortals were allowed to complete their formation, the entire Langya blessed land would be in trouble. The hairy man Gu immortals wanted to urge Langya land spirit, but they lacked courage. Only Sixth Hair, who was Spectral Soul's split soul, could stand up now at this critical moment. But out of their expectations, Langya land spirit listened to Sixth Hair's suggestion without rampaging or getting angry. That he smiled sinisterly. Don't worry. How can I forget about the central continent Gu immortals? Even without Fang Yuan, we have reinforcements, huh? This Feng Jiuge thinks his scheme succeeded, but it is a futile struggle. These people will die. They will all die. Don't tell me. Sixth Hair's eyes shone when he heard this. The other hairy man Gu immortals also reacted. That's right. We are not alone. Indeed, indeed. Our Langya sect is part of the Four Races Alliance. Central Continent's Gu immortals have reinforcements, but so do we. In the past, Fang Yuan played a role in setting up the Four Races Alliance. He had considered a situation like this. Fang Yuan knew the importance of Langya blessed land. The alliance was a safety net for Langya blessed land. Langya land spirit and the hairy man Gu immortals were all lured away by Feng Jiuge. Most of the blessed land's battle strength was inside the silver giant. The central continent Gu immortals thought that they were safe and sound, but in reality, Langya sect had reinforcements. The truth was, the Inkman, Rockman, and Snowman reinforcements had already arrived. They were just hidden. Is it finally time for us to strike? Rank 7 Rule Path Rockman Gu Immortal Shixiong received Langya land spirit's transmission as he muttered, "Let's strike. What are we waiting for?" The rank 7 Snowman Gu Immortal Bing Feng could not wait any longer. It is a shame that I cannot fight in this battle. The other rank 7 Close Combat Gu Immortal Bing Zhui said regretfully. We have such a grand formation, why would we need to fight? An Inkman Gu Immortal from Inkman City laughed. Other than having 4 rank 7s here, there were also many rank 6 Gu Immortals. Langya sect was attacked. According to their alliance agreement, the other 3 races had to help them and unite as one to resist the enemy. If they violated it, the punishment would be severe. When Fang Yuan set the alliance agreement, he had emphasized on the speediness of reinforcements. He did not leave any loopholes behind. But these 3 races did not come forcefully. They willingly came. These variant humans naturally did not favor humans. Their only concern was the lives of their Gu immortals. But Langya blessed land had a hidden immortal formation that completely alleviated their worries. Ever since the rank 8 immortal Gu house refinement cauldron was destroyed by Shadow sect and had its core immortal Gu taken, Langya blessed land could only sustain an incomplete refinement cauldron. Langya blessed land's defenses were greatly weakened. With Fang Yuan's wisdom, he had already noticed it. Thus, long ago, he exchanged a lot of inheritances with Langya land spirit. There were a lot of formations inside that could replace refinement cauldron to defend the blessed land. Langya blessed land did not lack immortal Gu. Fang Yuan, who had sufficient attainment level, modified some immortal formations, secretly setting up a super Gu formation encompassing the entire blessed land. It was hidden normally, but when enemies attacked, the Gu immortals could use it to unleash great power. Fang Yuan did this purposely. He had deeply considered the hairy man Gu immortals' battle strength, as well as the reinforcements' mindsets. This immortal formation was the most suitable. And there was one more thing. This immortal formation could not be moved after it was created. Even though Langya blessed land was strong, if something happened in the future and the sect turned on Fang Yuan, this immortal formation would be useless. In fact, within the immortal formation, Fang Yuan had already set a few backdoors. After these variant human Gu immortals arrived, Langya land spirit sent them into the immortal formation. After getting familiar with the formation, they worked together, instilling immortal essence as this super Gu formation activated. What is going on? There is a hidden super Gu formation? Impossible. How can Langya still have manpower? The immortal formation activated with tremendous force. It was unstoppable. The immortal formation that the central continent Gu immortals created broke apart at once. Many of the immortals were heavily injured. Bing Zhuo and the rest used the chance to target them without holding back. The formless force of the immortal formation was like a huge grindstone. Under its pressure, two central continent Gu immortals died. Feng Jiuji's expression changed. Lang Yalan spirit, I actually fell for your scheme. The cruel truth was like a slap on Feng Jiuji's face. This legendary person of the current era showed anger on his face that I in this situation. Feng Jiuge could no longer continue his tactic. He had to return and save the rest of the central continent Gu immortals. But the silver giant did not let him go. The entire blessed land still had another super Gu formation that exerted pressure on him. Even though Feng Jiuge tried his best, he could only watch as the final central continent Gu immortal died. In vain. Our intel is severely lacking. Lang Ya blessed land has such a huge force. This is unbelievable. Feng Jiuge had a grim expression. He was attacked by the silver giant and the super Gu formation. Immortal killer move. Green Jade Song. In this situation, Feng Jiuge, who was left alone, finally went all out. He started to use his signature methods. Green Jade Song was clear and crisp, sounding like countless pearls landing on a jade plate. The music spread out as a layer of green color appeared on the silver giant. Before rapidly turning into solid jade, the music continued. Wherever it spread, white clouds, yellow soil, and flowing water all turned into jade. As everything got converted, the surrounding 100 li became a frozen world made of jade. Even the silver giant was frozen into a jade statue. This green jade song is truly extraordinary. Within the jade statue, Lang Ya land spirit spoke. Crack, crack. The jade statue started to surface with cracks all over. The silver giant broke free as the jade was flung away. It attacked Feng Jiuge again. Feng Jiuge was not surprised. This green jade song had rank 8 power, but against the silver giant, it could only temporarily obstruct it, but he had already obtained enough time for his second immortal killer move. Submission Song. This move encompassed wisdom path, enslavement path, sound path, and soul path. It affected the mind. It was created by Feng Jiuge using 5-finger fist heart, sword, as inspiration. It could temporarily cause desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts to change sides, becoming subordinates of the singer. The song soon spread throughout Lang Ya blessed land. However, it was in vain. Lang Ya land's spirit laughed. Feng Jiuge, do you think we would not prepare against it? Fang Yuan had already given me information of your submission song. In the battle earlier, I had already sent all our desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts into our immortals' immortal apertures. Know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Heavenly Court tried to obtain intel about Lang Ya blessed land. Lang Ya land spirit naturally did the same thing. Fang Yuan had warned Lang Ya land spirit regarding Feng Jiuge. He was something to guard against. Feng Jiuge breathed in deeply. Using immortal killer move Heaven and Earth Song. The song was loud and clear. It resonated with heaven and earth, drawing out its might, and was able to exert pressure on people's minds. It could weaken enemy attacks. But this move was even weaker here. This was the heaven and earth of Lang Ya blessed land. The base of Feng Jiuji's enemy carrying deep animosity against him. How could Feng Jiuge resonate and use its power? Immortal killer move, separation song. Feng Jiuge dodged left and right and unleashed his trump card. This song was extraordinary. It was the best method to break apart immortal formations and immortal Gu houses. Back then, against the rank 8 immortal Gu house clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building, it had greatly shocked Wu Yong by nearly dismantling it. The silver giant was an ancient battle formation. Bing Zhua and the rest were controlling an immortal Gu formation now. They were also affected. Once it was dismantled, these variant human Gu immortals would need to fight individually. How could they be Feng Jiuji's match? Originally, Feng Jiuge could not move while using separation song. But after this period of time, he had improved greatly. He could move freely now while using separation song. Once this song started, it was very weak, like a low murmur or like soft sleep-talking in a quiet night. Next, a sudden emotion emerged in all of the variant human Gu immortals' hearts. The song gradually became louder. It was not an instant rise, but a gradual and gentle one, alternating between low and high pitch as it rose. The Gu immortals felt sadness and pain in their hearts. the song, suddenly dropped to a low pitch. An incomparable gloominess and sentimental feelings attacked the variant human Gu immortals' hearts, making them have an urge to cry. The pain of separation, the sadness of separation, the gloominess of separation, and the reluctance of separation, splitting up with your lover, never seeing your friends again, and the death of your loved ones, separated, but the past remains the same. Separated, as old friends bid farewell. Separated, like the setting of the sun. Separated, like falling flowers that convey deep sadness. I'll separate your mother. Suddenly, Lang Yalan's spirit screamed in a thunderous tone, resounding in the entire blessed land. This moment, his immortal killer move was ready. Immortal killer move. Complete silence. The silver giant shone with boundless brilliance. The silver light was extremely glaring, like a fragment of the sun. Wherever it shone, the song faded into silence. Feng Jiuji's face finally expressed shock. This move had rank 8 power. It directly countered him. Feng Jiugu, your death anniversary will be in exactly a year's time. Lang Yalan's spirit roared smugly. The silver giant stomped on Feng Jiugu. Feng Jiugu rapidly retreated, but he could only dodge for now. His gaze flickered. The battle strength of Lang Ya's forces greatly shocked him multiple times. This complete silence killer move was extremely effective, but Lang Yalan's spirit had kept it in reserve until the end. This move was too crucial. It threw Feng Jiugu into an absolute disadvantage. This legendary figure of Central Continent finally felt the intense aura of death.